Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Emily, and I'm here to give you my weekly cross-stitching update, which I've done now for we're well into 10.5 months of me managing to post weekly. I haven't missed a week yet this week, considering all in. You've kept me going this year, honestly. So I'm here again. It is Wednesday, October the 15th. We are halfway through October. Crikey. And yeah, 10:30 in the morning, another grey autumn day here in Cumbria. As you can see, the wisteria is turning yellow now very much, and yeah, autumn blur. I'm on my 4th day of being off work, so I was off on Sunday just as my 2nd day off the week, and I've had 3 outstanding annual leave days. I've got 3 more that I'll be given in November. I just told them to pencil them in for me, so just as a surprise sort of thing, because they still had a week's holiday outstanding. We do get very good holiday allowance in the UK. That's one good thing. One good thing about the UK. I think we get 28 days annual leave, which is lovely, which you can just take as you do through the year whenever you need. Right, stitching wise, it feels to me like I've had a much better week stitching, but actually I've only done like 400 stitches more than I did last week, so that's fine. And partly because the Monday, Tuesday, I got a lot of stitches in, specifically into one project each day. I concentrated on and did quite a lot, which is nice. So I'm going to show you which way around am I going to do it. Treasure hunt bookshelf first. So I have my treasure hunt bookshelf downstairs after last week's video, so I pulled very excitedly 814, I think, just one colour. So last week it looked like this when I did my video, and this week, after 730 stitches over the week, it's looking like this. So last week I just brought the black down here. Oh no, I put some brown in here as well. Woo. I was working in some black up here, I think. These are just to be filled in when I'm tired. These are my tidy nights, so I can just get a strand and fill that in and not even look at the pattern if I don't want to. And then I put in this ready colour here. It's 814, might be 816, I'm not sure. Anyway, I put in this colour here and a little bit of brownie bit there. I think this is the door here. So my little square, which as you can see comes to here, that's the corner there, up there, and I've come not to the corner, but that's where the black ended, the corner's there. So my goal in the next fair few, probably, let's be honest, 6 or 7 months, is to fill this square in completely. It's 22,500 stitches, so if I'm doing under 1,000 a month, that's half a year really, isn't it? Anyway, never mind, we all truck along. And there's my treasure hunt bookshelf, which is my forever piece, and I stitch on it every day. The 3 years preceding that, I did 1% a month, which was 7,220 stitches, which is an awful lot to put into one project every single month. I did that for a few years, and then I changed it up for this year, and I'm very grateful I did, because I would have immediately failed in February with my plans. I decided to just stitch on it every day. And so far this year I've missed 2 days, once because I didn't have it with me and we were overnight in hospital, and once because I just went to sleep. I just fell to sleep before I put even a stitch in. A couple of times I've put in 1 stitches or 4 stitches, 1 stitch or 4 stitches, you know, just almost nothing, but I do usually touch it every day. I try to. Okay, I'll do my non-WIPGO projects next, of which there's only 2. They're both Halloweeny to suit the season. I have finally started this little squid. A picture up here. Wish I had fabric that colour, but at the time I was only dyeing fabric this colour with purple, so a mixture of purple and blue. Anyway, my squid now looks like this. I have stitched on him this morning, so he's probably a bit more on than he would have been. Yesterday I put 336 stitches into him. I started him yesterday. So this is the big tall squid here, and then there's a little squid here, and I haven't even touched the squid on this side, and then there's a little something above his head there. The squid, they've got pumpkins on their heads. So I've done 9, 4, 646, 647, and I've just started the 310, putting some 310 this morning into it. So it's coming along. My aim is to have this finished and in a nice little oval frame by Halloween to match the other two here and here, so I can gift them to my girls. The name of the, excuse me, why do I sneeze? I never sneeze. Why have I started sneezing when I come to do a video? Anyway, the name of who I bought the patterns from on Etsy was up on the picture. So if you want to find out who that was, just roll it back to where I inserted the picture and pause it, and it's written along the bottom. It's something like Mama Witch or something. I can't really remember. Anyway. Okay, my other one that I'm stitching for Halloweeny things is Haunted Hollow. Looks like this. Last week I've put in 454 into this and fixed a mistake. So this week it looks like this. This is on a beautiful, beautiful piece of pumpkin. Be Stitch Me. Every time I pick this up, I like it more. What I've done is come to the end. This is the edge of the pattern. So we're going to have a repeat now. That's the middle of the gates. And then I've got another plinth with another cat and then the gates. So I think I will be able to put it straight for a start in my Q-snap, because I'm not very good at putting things in straight. And I'll be able to move it across so I can work all the way along the bottom. I'm not going to colour complete the black. There's like, I think like 7,000 or 8,000 black stitches in this piece. I'm just going to do the gates and then I'm going to start the colours underneath. But this isn't going to be a forever, always out project. This is a now and again. It's Halloweeny month, so Halloween it is at the moment. So there we go. So that's not been too bad. I've only put a little bit in, just 454. I think I stitched on it twice last week. 2 different chunks. Did some yesterday, and I'd made a mistake here. I couldn't figure out my counting here. There was a mistake and I had to frog out quite a few. I couldn't work out what was wrong with it, and it didn't look right and it didn't match this. So it still doesn't match. Nope, it still doesn't match the other side. You can clearly see there's a bigger gap there than there is there. Right, okay, that's fine. I fixed the mistake as much as it's going to get fixed. I wonder what I did. Who knows? I thought I had fixed. I'll amend my statement. I thought I had fixed my mistake, but clearly I haven't, because it's not symmetrical. And I think those gates are probably symmetrical. Anyway, moving on. Okay, now my 4 WIPGO projects are here. One of them, so I amended my goals for 2 of the 2 counting ones, which are Merida and World of Books. Kingdom of Books. I've got to stop saying World of Books, it's Kingdom of Books. So my Merida pattern, I went from 5,000 stitches to 2,500 stitches, of which I've only done 492. So I still need to put 2,000 stitches into this, so this one is staying out for right now. And I'll take one of the others out of a Q-snap and work on this instead and get the chunk in here. So it's only changed 156 stitches from last week, so I'm not even going to put a picture up. I put in 156 because I've got the 939 on my needle there. I'm assuming I've put in 156 stitches somewhere here of 939. I need to put in a good deal more. This is a horrible Tapestry Market kit of Merida, of which there are no licensed cross stitches anyway, so yes, I'm fully aware of the implications of the unethicability of this, but I'm stitching it anyway, and I think when it's done it will be pretty. I think this one, because it is totally lacking in detail, I think it's going to be the most detailed of them. The more detailed the picture, because it's 11 count and printed, the more detailed the picture, the less detail you get in the finished pattern. Because this is just a silhouette anyway, I think it's going to lend itself to being this printed canvas thing. Anyway, I'm going to put this in a Q-snap, because you can see this isn't even in a Q-snap at the moment. I'm going to put it in a Q-snap and bang some stitches into this for next week, so that I hopefully will meet my goals by the end of the month. The other counted one has had a big change, so I'm really pleased with it. World of Books has now had 2,000 stitches of its amended 2,500 stitch goal. I put 1,277 stitches into this on Monday, my second day off work, my first holiday day for this week, and I'm super pleased with where I got to. It looked like this the last time I showed it to you, and today it looks like this. Big change. So most of this red's gone in and it's starting to look shaped. The shading's coming up, and then because this side of this book was looking a little bit empty, I stitched in a few colours in this, and we've actually, the two books are joining up there, and that's where I got to and stopped. So I've got down here to go of this blue. I've still got lots of other colours to put in and the background to fill in and the bottom to fill in, and there's backstitch on everything. I'm going to do all the backstitch. I'm going to stick my neck out now and say I'm probably going to do the backstitch last, but if I've completely finished a section I might backstitch it, just so that it's not a whole piece to backstitch at the end. We will wait and see how the mood takes me, but I'm really happy. I really got into this. I've been feeling, I think what I have experienced is a dip in my stitchy bug, which is so unusual to me that I don't think I recognised it. And this stitching on this made me really happy, and I thought, crikey, I'm really enjoying this, and I thought it's back, as opposed to whatever it is I've been doing, struggling to do stitches and things, thinking I must stitch on my bookshelf, I must put some stitches into Dilemma, I must do this, I must do that, oh my god, I must do it. I was like, I'm loving this, and I put in 1,277 stitches, no problem at all, in a day, into this one thing here. So I'm really pleased with how that's looking. Very pleased. It looks really good. It might just be because those reds worked so well together. That's 3 colours there. That's 3 colours, and it's just giving that, it almost beginning to look curved, like a old book spine. Wonderful, love it. So I'm really happy with that one. And then I've got Dilemma, which last time I did a video it looked like this. It's had 555 stitches in it since then, and I have filled in this piece here, which wasn't fully filled in last week, and I finished off that bit. So I kind of came to a stopping point because that was the end of the piece of pattern that I'd borrowed from, I think the piece of pattern was this piece of pattern here. I think we'll see that repeated down here. It'll be this 3rd box, but then of course I'm putting a 4th box on the bottom, so I've got to figure out a bit more pattern to use. And I came to the end of the piece of pattern and need to pull out a new piece of pattern, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to do now. I might just come along here and do this bit here and see if I can get this bit done this month and close this box, because as it stands now we have now got 4 completed boxes, and the 5th there needs its borders all put on it. So I think I might come this way, find this piece of pattern in my project bag, and finish these birds coming down here, and then stitch whatever it is that meets them there. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I need to move my Q-snap along a bit. I've got needle minders in this project because I'm using a paper pattern, and I just hold my work and my thread on my thread drop on the fabric in front of me, which is great. So I am lately thinking that I might invest in a Lowry stand. My mum has a Lowry stand. My mum's had a Lowry stand for, I think, as long as I've known her. She must have had it for years. Certainly since I've been an adult visiting as opposed to being a child living in the house. She's had that Lowry stand the whole time. I just didn't know it was a Lowry stand, but that's what my mum has. and it lives in the corner of the dining room, and she's always got something or other on the go of it, usually some sort of embroidery. There we go. So I've moved my Q-snaps. I've made my decision. I'm going to finish off these birds and come this way, and then we'll see what else is on that piece of pattern. It might well be this piece of pattern, which will have, no it won't, it'll be that piece of pattern. So I might have a bit more going that way and a bit more going down. We'll see what we fill in here next. I'm going to keep at this month. So far this month Dilemma's had 1443 stitches. My WIPGO goal was to finish the frame, which was never, and I would not have managed it even if I'd pulled it in like January, February. I'd have not managed it, I'm sure, because I would have had to have, I'm you know, I'll add up my Dilemma stitches this year and we'll look at how many I've done and how close I am to the frame in my end of year WIP parade, because I think I'm going to have put in quite a lot of stitches and be miles away from the frame being finished, considering my WIPGO goals were roughly what I thought 5,000 stitches would be. So that frame, I think it's a lot more than 5,000. So it was unrealistic in the starter. So I changed my goal to just stitch on it, which I have done. And I've done 1,400 stitches already, which is more than touching it once. So I think realistically at the end of the month, I'm going to give myself that. I'm also going to give myself Aphrodite because I have now finally stitched on her. 1,013 stitches this week has gone into Aphrodite, so total for the month 1,013 so far. Now I was having a massive wibbly wobbly about Aphrodite because she's in a pink dress. This is my only Bella Filipina pattern, so she's in a pink dress, and I decided maybe not a pink dress for Aphrodite, and I'm probably going to change her hair from being a redhead to being a brunette, and I'm not sure, possibly not so folderolly, if that's a word, if you know what I mean, not so snooty tooty hair up sort of thing. I'm thinking about her hair. Her hair's a long way away. I'm not too worried about doing her hair right now, it's a long way away, but I was concerned about the dress because I stitched some of the dress. I'll put a picture up of it here of where it was and the colour of the dress, and then I'm going to show you this because this is where I am now, and the pink dress has gone, and in its place we have a blue dress, some of a blue dress and some of a swan. As soon as I came down and started and picked out the first couple of top of the swan colours, the harsh line is the harsh line of my pattern, because I wasn't going to pull another piece of pattern to carry on down. I've simply used up a thread and then picked another colour and used up that thread. And then the dress was looking at me and I was like, well, I'm going to have to frog out this pink. I'm not doing a pink dress. And I thought, I'm going to have to frog out the pink. So I started frogging out the pink. There was quite a lot of stitches. I'm going to err on the side of probably 600 or 700 stitches I'd already done on it. I've still not quite covered where I frogged. I can see the holes here. You can just about see, yeah, you can see where I frogged by the light coming through. You can see the holes are bigger here, there, and right up into this knee here. There, the light shining through them. You can see how much more I'd done. Anyway, I changed the blues, and I've changed them from the pinks. So, and what should have been white, she's got white on her pink dress here. I'm not going to do white, only in the dress. I've had to amend my pattern and it says only in dress, because obviously there's white and there's pinks. I just thought I'd change out all the pinks, but there's pinks in all of these flowers. I'm leaving them totally as they are. It's going to make them pop a lot more, but I'm leaving her swan sleigh as it is. And it's just the dress I'm changing. So where it's white, it's going to be 159. So very pale, slightly purple toned blue. And then I've got 4 darker colours. So then we've got 793, which I've used, which is the most nearest the fabric colour. It's here. It is close to the fabric colour, but it's encased. It's because it's folds of fabric, it's in the fabric, so there's a darker colour around it, so I'm not worried about it disappearing into the blue. You can see here, this looks like it's very close to the fabric colour, especially over here, but this darker blue is coming right up over her knee, so I'm not worried about that at all. The next darkest colour is 797. Now there's quite a jump there. I couldn't find an easy one to sit between them, but I think as a 1, 2, 3, they've got about the same colour difference between them. And then my fourth colour is 791, and I'm really happy with those 4 colours. And then there's a darker colour. Of course there's a darker colour. And there's nothing darker than 791. The next darkest is 823. Oh, that was too dark. No, I don't like that at all. So I've rummaged around. I looked through all my overdyes. I looked through all my silks to try and find a nice dark blue, and I found this. This is a spool of Sulky. It is Flavon? I know it's rayon. Look, to be fair, the words like blurred off. It's rayon, which is why it's horrible. That explains it. Anyway, it's colour 1197. I picked these up in Hobbycraft. They were like 50p, end of line, that they've stopped doing these now in Hobbycraft. It is very fine. I bought this thinking 40 count, 2 strands. I can probably do a whole long dog in a couple of spools of this, and I've got some spools of this. I just never showed it you as haul because I clearly just dropped it in a box and forgot about it. But 3 strands of this, it's literally like sewing cotton, but it's shiny and it is just dark enough. It actually works so well. And I had to use 3 strands to get the same coverage as 2 strands of DMC. But the darker colour is in there. And up close I can see it slightly darker, very tonal, but there is a slightly darker colour within there. So I'm liking that. So I've done some of her knee. I've got the dress back in place. I've not quite stitched back what I took out. Took me forever to frog this. In the end, I just got my very sharp embroidery scissors and literally just cut through the crosses so that it was like tufted, and then picked it out. For some reason, I just wasn't in for. Usually I unpick because I stitch a stitch at a time. I always have. I don't think I'm ever going to change my method. I do 1 stitch at a time, whether I'm doing variegated, whether I'm doing DMC, whether I'm doing a whole block of 100 by 100 stitches. I just do 1 stitch at a time. So normally I can frog really easily. I must have split my needle through threads. It wasn't unpicking. I couldn't find the next stitch, so I just cut it out in the end. And I have these little balls of pink fluff. I've got several balls of pink fluff lying around that I really should just put in the bin. Anyway, so I've got some swan and I've got her knee, and so far she's had 1,013 stitches. I am going to keep stitching this. I have acquired, I think it is chocolate, a spot. I've acquired a spot of something on my beautiful hand-dyed fabric, and I'm pretty sure, I am pretty sure that is off. The swan comes like here. Where does she go? Yeah, that's in fabric there, because that there is this. So that's there. So the swan's going to come here. Yeah, I'm going to have to get that out very carefully. I think it's chocolate. These are printed on photo paper. That's like, even though the Bella Filipinas are quite new, that's old school. That's like Nora Corbett and Mirabilia's, where they're photographs put in. You can now get them as PDFs. Had I known this, they're expensive patterns. I've bought the paper pattern. I am using the paper pattern. I'm not rebuying it. But I'm quite happy to use a paper pattern for things like this. I've got the master copy. I've made it working copy, and because there's so much backstitch to go on it, I'll use the clean master copy to do my backstitch when I get to it. But there we go, we have a rethink, we have a restart, I have a colour palette, and I'm happy. And the pinks are going to be in the flowers anyway, so that I can't like put them back in my stash or anything, because they're in the pattern in the flowers and things in the sleigh. So I'm very much happier with my colour choice of the dress. And I'll think about the hair as and when I get to the hair. I might just borrow the hair colours from Celtic Ladies or something, you know, pick one of them that matches much better with Lizzie's hair colour and borrow the actual colour numbers, because the lavender and lace hair, there's nothing like it. For a straight DMC with no blends, the colour changing in that is perfect. So I think I'm going to probably borrow that. And that is all my stitching content for today. I have started a new project, not stitching. I randomly watched a lady who I've never watched before, and I know why, because almost all of her videos to date have been crochet. She's put up a cross stitch video which has got an awful lot of views on it, so it obviously like hit just right, and it was how many cross stitches can I do in a week, and she's stitching the huge Pokemon thing, and she's not using Pattern Keeper, and I don't think she's new to cross stitch, but they're not Flosstubes. It was a one-off, this is my cross stitch video kind of thing, whereas her crochet podcasts are very well established, it seems. She's done lots and lots of those. Anyway, so there's actually an edit line there. You know I don't edit my videos very often, like make chunky chunkies. I actually got her name wrong there, so I'm going to say it right. She's called Bloom Stitch Studio. I didn't even get her name, I probably should have done. Anyway, I'll attempt. I never seem to manage to link people in my video descriptions below. I'm going to have a go. Because her crochet vlogs are really quite fun, and she's British, and there was a Flosstube there, but yeah, as I say, it's had like 10,000 views, so like 5 times as many views as I get on my videos. So you've possibly already watched it, the how many stitches can I stitch a week. Now the video directly after that is how much can I crochet in a week, which I inadvertently watched because my algorithm just played the video. Because when I'm busy and a video ends, my algorithm just plays another video for me that it thinks I'm going to like. And what she'd done, she was doing something that somebody else had done that she was decided to do too. She'd gone to the Range, which is like a home store here in the UK. This time of year, the Range is just full of Christmas decorations. They sell some food, they sell DIY stuff, they sell bedding, they sell furniture, they sell picture frames, they sell art. It's a proper art supply. There's a garden centre there. There's a big pet department. It's a kind of an everything for the home kind of store. You can buy like rain jackets in there and things like that, you know, but it's not like a clothes store, but it's like everything else. She had bought a pack of double knitting yarn in autumn colours and was going to crochet as many little squares, like granny squares. She was only doing 2 round granny squares, and they were coming out that sort of size. And I watched that and I thought, oh, I want to do that. I want a tiny, I need a big blanket. I just like this time of year, I always want to crochet or knit a big blanket. I've got a big crochet blanket on the go that I'm not happy with, so I will be taking that to pieces, but that's Aran weight. And I've got a huge knitted scrap blanket that every now and again I pull out and get on with. It's already the size of a small bed. Which I'm using like 50 small balls. I think they were about 50 grams that I rolled off all sorts of other balls. Anyway, I've got a big bag full of yarn that I pull two different colours and knit 2 colours together to make this huge blanket. I'll show it you. I've shown it you before. Anyway, I've not knitted on that for donkeys. Anyway, I didn't feel like pulling that, so I thought I want to do that. I want to grab some yarn and knit and crochet a blanket, except I've already I've fooled myself out with my Etsy, with the things I've listed on Ko-fi. I have fooled myself out completely, so I'm now moved on to winter colours. So I thought, right, how many crochet squares can I do in the same amount of time, kind of thing, and make myself a blanket. So yesterday we went up into the loft. I did a little bit of sorting out. We pulled out some old crap that's going to the tip. As soon as this video is processing, we're going to the tip. I did get a chair down because my sewing machine at the moment is on the dining room table, which is driving Richard insane, partly because the cable trips him up, because the plug is across the alleyway. Super helpful for a completely blind person not to fall over a cable that's across the floor. Plus I've got a table in here, it's just there. Actually the stuff you can see there is on the table, and I could be using it instead of the dining room table to do all my machining. But I didn't have a chair, and his dining room chairs are insanely heavy. They're like solid oak with great big pads. They're upholstered. They weigh they're really nice, but they weigh a ton. Trucking it backwards and forwards is a nightmare. So he says, oh, I've got some chairs in the loft. So we went up into the loft. I grabbed one of these chairs. They're just like his old chairs, slightly smaller, less heavy, and they've got like vinyl instead of fabric upholstery on them. But essentially he obviously likes that kind of chair because there's more just like them. Had I known they were up in the loft, I wouldn't have had to sat on, I don't know what I sat on at Christmas. It certainly wasn't a chair. I literally think it might have been my little filing cabinet because we couldn't get everybody around the chair. Anyway, so I inadvertently did some tidying up in the loft. We filled the boot of the car with stuff to take to the tip, and I shopped for yarn because I should not purchase yarn. I can shop for yarn because I have, I think, 13 enormous, and we're talking the size of the screen here in relation to my head, size storage boxes full of yarn, and it's all colour coded. So I thought winter, so I went white, pale blue, some more bolder blue from the blue box as opposed to the light blue box. Yes, I had to split my blues into light blues and blues. That's how much yarn I have. And I went in the mauve box, and I went in the mixed box. So I'll put the big picture up of my yarn shopping. It's all double knitting, and it's very varied. Some of it is proper yarn. Almost all of it is acrylic. I've tried to steer away from too much of the like dishcloth cotton. I've not got any of those. The cottons I've got are like this one here, which is half cotton, half acrylic. But that to me is a nice wintry palette. Some of them will be darker, some of them will be purple, some of them will be mauve, and some of them will be almost white. Look, like there. There's quite a lot of almost white there, and if that all comes off in one together, it might be a white square. So I've already made this many, as you do. So mine, I've done, instead of doing a 2-round granny square, I've done a 3-round granny square, and my granny squares come out this side, and I finish as I go, which may or may not stand up forever because I crochet my ends in, which I learned from the Secret Yarnery. She taught me how to do that. But I don't use a darning needle at all with crochet. I just weave my ends in as I go. And when I finish, I do 4 stitches and then go back on myself and anchor it. I'm actually going to do a crochet vlog. So it's not going to be up anytime soon because I want to make this blanket, but I'm going to do a crochet vlog. Do the opposite of the lady in Bloom Stitch, because she does crochet vlogs and then did 1 cross stitch video. I'm going to do cross stitch videos as I always have and do 1 crochet vlog because I'm shamelessly copying her. I'll tag her in if she does watch this. I've shamelessly copied you, I hope you don't mind. But we kind of all borrow each other's ideas, don't we? Because that's fine to do. So this is shiny white. This is bamboo white. You can see there's going to be a lot of white. The only thing I am going to purchase, because I don't think I own one, is a big ball of Stylecraft Special white, which I'm very probably going to crochet them all together with. Stylecraft Special here in the UK is your absolute go-to. I'm going to go to Hobbycraft because I've got a voucher and I'll get whatever they've got. It might be Stylecraft Special, it might be one of their own. As long as it feels nice and it's acrylic, I'll buy it. Double knitting white, and try not to buy too many other colours. But as you can see, we've gone a little icy with that. I've got quite a lot of ice yarns. As I say, I used to follow Krista at the Secret Yarnery, and she was basically an ice yarn distributor. She got affiliate links for selling it. So inadvertently, I didn't really understand how that all worked. That would have been 6-7 years ago, but I have a lot of ice yarn of various types. This is pure cotton, I think, but it feels, oh no, it's 50-50, that's fine. Double knitting, 50-50, Christmassy mauve. This is going to be this year's colour palette for me for winter stroke, probably Christmas. Anyway, I've started a new project, and I've started and I will do myself a little crochet vlog. So if you crochet as well, look out for that. It's only going to be posted on my normal channel, this channel, but it'll be when I've really got going on this. And the idea that she's running with is to completely use the yarn up and see what she's got at the end. I've got 100 gram, I've got 50 gram balls, I've got started balls, I have got some 100 gram balls, of which I think I'll probably use half. I'll probably reel off. I think I might set my precedent at, this is going to be 100 grams. Yeah, I might set my precedent at 50 grams because otherwise I'm going to have, it's going to take me forever. So the big balls I might roll off 50 grams of and just say, right, when it's gone, it's gone. Some of the balls are 50 grams, but this is very, very light, so there's an awful lot on this, but it's the perfect colour. This is actually purple. Doesn't look very lilac-y, it's lilac. Oh, I call it lilac. Anyway, I've started a crochet vlog and I've started making tiny squares. I think I just need that little bit of break from it all. So that's on the way. Can we just point out that the colours I've just picked for Aphrodite's dress pretty much are the same. I just want to give you the heads up here. Yeah, I'm definitely working on a theme here. It's what I do. Anyway, so quite a few of you, thank you very much, have been and visited my Ko-fi shop. I did finally get my fall and Halloween stuff listed. It took me one whole day to change all my listings to allow for the US tariffs, which means I can now post to the US again. I apologise so much for the fact that the postage has gone up by 50p and 10% to America. I'm only charging what I'm going to get charged, but however it gets portrayed to American people that the country of origin is paying the tariff, it's a technicality because the purchaser is paying the tariff, and I can't change that because I can't absorb that. And I do still want to ship to my friends in America. That's all there is to it. So we know it's awful. I've had, I think, 2 American orders where normally almost all my orders would be American. I understand it and we know where we are with it, but the Royal Mail is charging a 50p flat rate for processing the new form and the 10% that the tariff is. So that is added to the postage because I can't add it as a separate tariff. I think I can in Shopify. I'm still working on Ko-fi, otherwise this stuff would never have got listed this year. I'm hoping to get my Shopify account with stock in it to sell Advent things, but it might be Ko-fi. We might not get there. Anyway, so I'm just going to give you a lightning pit stop tour of my fall things, and because each one is different, the little pouches are all different and they're slightly different sizes and things, but each little set came with project bag, a little pouch, a thread drop. This is the bunny to match. This is a prototype kind of thing. We hope they're going to work really well. A little, so to match the fabric, there's a little sleeping badger who is him just here. He's the little sleeping badger. And then I did this lovely little bunny with a little heart. So that's cute. He's got a little tail. And then the scissor fob here is one of my little funny felt creations. So they'll all be completely individual because obviously they're hand stitched. He's felt, just a little felt dingly dangly, the little badger. Did find some of my glass beads were like mistakes, and they're big. Can you see how big that bead is? I couldn't use that bead for like an eyeball, but isn't it the perfect nose? And I found enough of these to do the noses of the badgers. So I was so made up with that. So that's the full set there. And then we've got the cats and pumpkins, which is the same. So you get the same idea. Again, the little pouch, and look at that copper glitter. And then this is the one with the pumpkin scissor fob here. And then same again, 3 needle minders. You get the black cat with the pumpkins, the pumpkin with the cat, these all look like Cosmo to me, and then the thread drop, which as you can see has got the mica, it's got the glitter on it too, and that's a 2-hole thread drop there. So those 3 needle minders and the scissor fob. That was my cats and pumpkins. As I say, the pouches will, the little final pouches will all be different because they are all slightly different sizes, and your zip might be a different colour, and the webbing down the side might be different. And then we've got the cats and potion bottles. This fabric glows in the dark, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the 3 bits that go with this. This also, this needle minder here, the bats on the moon. The moon is a mixie model of glow in the dark, pearl, there's some silver leaf in it, some translucent in it. This does glow too. And then there's a big single hole thread drop again with the mica powder on it to make it a bit shiny shimmery. And then you've got a little spider needle minder, which again changes, has got the chameleon powder on it, so it changes colour, and a scissor fob, which is a tentacle in some goo. I was going to do a cat's paw, like with toe beans in the jar, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I thought a tentacle would be better. I know it doesn't strictly match the fabric, but I tried to do a cat's paw, and it disconcerted me, so I didn't continue with the cat paw in the jar. That's what I was going to do in a Halloweeny version of things. And then you've got the green bag, which again is the glow in the dark fabric with the green bag. And in here we've got, again, another little pouch, and again it's the same single pumpkin thread drop, potion bottle needle minder. I particularly like these, I think they're so cool. And again, same little spider, because it's the same fabric, 2 other things in it are the same. And then the scissor fob for this is a bit spidery. Sorry Adelaide, this one's not for your girl. Is a beaded spider. So he is quite, you can see his legs kind of move a bit. So if you don't, this is not the spidery spider people. So it's on quite a few thicknesses of felt there. But that's my beaded spider, and I've just been wanting to make these beaded spiders for so long that I just couldn't resist making some, and I really love them. I'm not terribly spidery, but I personally love that beaded spider. Anyway, so those are the 4 packs. In addition to those, I've got all my other Halloween things are now all listed. Oh, these boxes, I got these in Home Bargains. They are perfect for storing needle minders. I store my needle minders now without magnets on. I magnet them up as I sell them because it's so much easier to store them without magnets on. I have learnt. So standard fare for my Halloween now. More spiders, I'm afraid. They've got the mica on them. They're embedded in resin, but still they're light, they're thin. That's about the thickest needle minder I think I've ever made. It's got the big spider. Then there's the Halloween cats and dogs. They're finally listed. I love these guys. My translucent ghosties are listed. There's also dragon eye needle minders. Again, translucent. Me with the translucent at the moment. Got to get over it and do something else for a bit. So we've got dragon eye needle minders are listed in my Ko-fi at the moment. There's some of Lizzie's pumpkins. They are all different, individual, one of a kinds, and some standard thread drops, single hole, 2 hole. With how I do them now, nearly all of them have got the resin coat on them. You can see it shining. It just adds, I think, real durability to them. And then there are potion bottles listed. These are different. They're the same, but they're different to the ones in the packs because these are translucent and glow in the dark-ish. They're the same clay, but with more translucent added. That I did the bats with. Without the magnet on them there, you can see that it's like a marble of several different sorts of clays rolled together, which I love doing. I love the effect it gives. This one's got a lot of glow in the dark in it, so you can see these need resin on them, that's all. So they're painted, they just need the resin. So I'm in process, but then they're separate anyway. So yeah, I love these little potion bottles. Really small, neat little needle minder there. Again, super thin, super light, coated with resin, good and strong. Anyway, so I did list quite a good variety of these little needle minders. And obviously, as they do sell, I'll obviously put magnets on them. However, I did go slightly overboard. I have got a lot of these. There are a lot more of these than I have project bags to make packs with. So next week I am going to be listing the thread drops. Certainly the thread drops, I'll be listing them separately. But there we go. Quick Ko-fi bit there for the shop. It's right at the end, so bin it if you didn't. And what I'm going to do for next week, I didn't get it finished. My 4,000 subscriber giveaway, I'm still under 4,010. I'm still 47, 49, 48, 46. So I'm still at 4,000 subscribers. I'm not like up beyond that was weeks ago, move on. I'm still right there at 4,000 subscribers. I'll do my 4,000 subscriber giveaway next week. I'll do it next week and then give it away the next week after. So it's going to be the first week of November that I'll be posting off. So I'm in the middle of making a project bag from a single fat quarter that I bought when I went to the quilt shop because I loved it so much. I bought it. And I went, just cut me a long quarter. And she was like, a quarter? Are you sure? And I was like, yes, this is one off. This is one for me and one to give away, and that's it. So I bought it to make my 4,000 subscriber giveaway. There's not a crochet bag inside, don't worry. That's not happening yet, anytime, ever, probably, now. Now I've moved on to a blanket, as usual. Another whip to add to the pile. Anyway, yeah, that'll be next week. I'll show you the things I'm going to give away, and I'm probably going to do like a big giveaway and a couple of little prizes too. Just, you know, because it's nice. And what I'd like you to think about, because that'll be the question to give me the keywords to give the giveaway for next week, because I'm going to do a little, because I want to turn it into a little poll as well. is for Advent this year, for Flossmas, because I'm very well aware of the state of how much everything costs us all these days, and the postage rates and all of that, and the fact that an expensive pack with 6 things in it is expensive now. It's more expensive for me to make it. It's certainly more expensive for me to ship it. I'm so sorry. But I've got the shipping wrong on so much stuff that sometimes I'm barely even covering myself because I've got the shipping wrong. So I've been really careful with my shipping. It has gone up. I'm really sorry, but Royal Mail have put their prices up. So even if they put them up again now, I'm not going to amend all my listings again. So if it goes up again now, that's on me again. So, but it's for every small business copes with this. Yeah, so I still want to make things for Flossmas, for giveaways for me, but what I'm thinking, and this is going to be the question, is do you want to do like a mix and match where you can say I want that one, that one, that one, that one, and it's like pick this many for this price and then pick that many for that price, so you can do just a couple of nice little thingies to open. I'm probably going to do like a lucky dip on Flossmas, because every other day on Flossmas for the last couple of years I've given away something every other day. So one day I show the thing, the next day I give it away, and then the next day I show the thing, and the following day I give it away. So there's 12 giveaways through Flossmas. Obviously I'm doing Flossmas for the 5th time this year, and so I think I'm going to do a lucky dip where I'm going to make the item, wrap it up, and then put it in a box, and then each day I'm going to dip, and that'll be the lucky dip for that day. The only difference being Christmas Eve, where we know it's going to be something bigger. The giveaway is going to be a bigger prize, so that's obviously going to be separate. But the other times, the other 11 are going to be smaller things, and we're probably going to do a lucky dip. So I'm wanting you to think and to buy specifically from me, not just in general for Advent this year, whether you want to have like a set like I did last year, where the things are numbered and each day you can open your thing as I opened the thing, as it were. I did that last year and it was really fun. Or whether you actually want to choose the things that you actually want. And I think that's probably going to be what people are going to choose. It's going to be like, let me pick 2 little presents for myself, let me pick 3 little presents for myself, and I'll get them and I'll open them at Christmas, I'll open them, 4, 8 and 12 through Advent or something, so think about that, and I'll ask a very pointed keyworded question next week, and that'll be then drawn for the giveaway. I'll put the it's not going to depend on your answer as to which giveaway you get. It's going to be, I'm going to put these 3 keywords in each time and draw 3, probably 4, because it's 4,000. It needs to be 4. I'm not doing it this week because I've not formulated my plan, but I am going to go and buy my fabric this week, so I'm going to know. I'll just let you know right now, it's going to be this colour palette. I was going to do Christmas and winter. I'm doing the fabric that I've already fallen in love with at the quilt shop. She's got it in 4 colourways. I'm buying each colourway and we're going to mix and match, and it's going to be these colours. So if you're not wintry mauves and blues, it's not going to be the one for you this year. But I'm not going traditional red and green this year at all. I didn't last year really, but I'm not doing it this year either. I'm going, here is my winter palette. There's my winter palette, just there. So we'll see how we get along with that. Anyway, it's enough for today. I've got to go up in the loft and look for the screws for the chairs, because they weren't with the chair I brought down, but apparently they're with one of the chairs, has got all the screws. So I need the screws to put the chair together. And then we're going to the tip. And then I've got a late tomorrow, so all's well. I've got 2 lates, a day off, and then Sunday. And then I'm back to normal again, so it's fine. Having a few days off has given me some perspective. I've calmed down, I've slept better. I'm ready to go head first to Christmas now. We'll be fine. Anyway, I'm going to link my Ko-fi shop below. If you want to pop on and have a look, thank you for your support. I'm going to try and get everything that's been ordered so far processed, ready to post tomorrow morning. I'm aiming to go straight to the post office tomorrow morning and drop everything off. So, and the needle minder of the month will be up and running for everybody this month. The people who have missed, the Americans who've missed, I will send an amended invoice for the months you've missed plus this month's. If you don't want the ones you've missed, don't pay that invoice, but do drop me a message and let me know what you'd like. I've already heard from one lady. Fantastic. I just haven't replied to you because I'm a lazy cow who never gets around to answering anybody anything. But it's going to be all rejigged. I think going forwards for America, what might be better is to do what the lady suggested and just do one every 3 months. So you get 3 needle minders. I'm sorry, that's going to be 3 tariffs because it's done on the value of the goods inside the packet, but it's only 1 lot of shipping, which kind of counteracts the tariff. So I'm more than happy to do 1 every 3 months, to do 3 in 3 months. That's fine. If it cuts the shipping, if it makes it easier for people to stump the shipping, that's fine. But and the price is only going up, the tariff. That's all it's going to go up by. Again, unavoidable. So I'll figure that out hopefully for next week. The needle minder of the month I'll be up and running again, and we'll see where we are and we'll see where we land. But okay, I'm done for now, guys. This is already way too long. If you stayed right to the end, thank you very much. please feel free to drop me a little comment, and I will see you soon. Bye bye for now.